I'm
good.
excited for the direction of what God's given you.
Me too. And it's kind of weird to say that, like, kind of how I like it just materialized. Do you want to talk about it? Explain a little bit?
I think we need to. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So
this is God-given because I know that God has his hand on our lives.
Yeah.
And I know that when this came up, when I looked at Dale and Dale looked at me and we're like, hey, we're going to do a podcast. We need to do a podcast. We were going to. Yeah. But God knew something was going to come from this that we didn't have any clue was going to come from it.
I think that we had no idea that this would develop.
Yeah.
But the things that we've talked about, actually a lot of the things we've talked about in this podcast, in Behind the Better, are things that we already know that we need to develop in our lives.
Yeah.
And we've actually discussed them in the podcast. We had an episode where we talked about 4 things.
Yeah. What are they?
Faith, family, fitness, finance.
Yeah.
Those 4 things, right? And so the idea that popped in my head is like, we need to develop in these, well, we already know we need to develop these 4 areas of our lives.
Yeah.
How do we do it? How do we break it down into goals, into small bite-sized steps? How do we do that and make it where it's shareable and not like some unattainable thing?
So that's what's crazy about it. It's because it's pushing us to become better through the process
of this. Yeah. So the idea is that we're going to break these down into like sections.
Yeah.
Goals. And we're going to walk through them with a group of you.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
So podcast is going to go kind of on the back burner a little bit. But we're going to start pushing the meat of what God gave you.
That's right.
And I believe it. And just so like, go ahead and say the name. Like
it is Behind the Better Man. Because
Behind the Better Man.
Yeah. I mean, because the goal is the same. It's never changed. The whole point of us talking in the first place is sitting down, as we believe that we could share some things that are in our lives. Right.
Yeah.
And we wanted to be better people in all kinds of aspects. Right. And it was like real general and really broad.
Yeah.
But then you realized through prayer one day, really, right, that, dude, I'm lacking in these 4 major areas. I don't remember if the podcast we discussed all 4 exactly. I think so.
Yeah, we did.
All right. And we're like, why are we, the idea will like, boom, developed. And like, why are we not doing this in a way that is truly broken down into steps? This is how we get from here to here.
Yeah.
So.
And that's typically what it's going to be is we're going to shoot videos.
Yes.
And a curriculum, and we're going to build an actual schooling.
Yeah.
Education on how to become a better man.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It is cool.
That God, like, I'm telling you, I can feel it, that God took us from that beginning. We've been in here talking back and forth. And to be honest, we had a purpose, but we didn't have a vision.
Yeah.
And God gave the vision.
Yeah.
The vision is that we're going to, through the process of teaching, we're going to learn / pull other men alongside of us.
Yeah.
We're going to walk through a series of education, videos, teachings on how to become better in
those 4 areas.
Faith, family, fitness, finance.
Yeah.
We're brainstorming. We're going to get new photography done. We're getting new videos shot. Like, we're going to go through and do this in depth the right way.
Yep.
Because we want to give you a product that can change your life.
Absolutely. And I think we're going to break it down. We are going to break it down into 4 steps, right?
Yeah.
So each one will be like its own like series. And if you want to walk through it with us, it'll look something like a 3-month thing. So
per series.
But it can be done at whatever rate you want to.
You can binge watch.
You can do it all at one time.
But you had a good point.
Yeah.
That you don't want, you do want an overnight change.
Yes.
But that's not realistic in this.
Yeah.
To become a better man, it takes consistency.
Yep.
It takes a change throughout. There's a lot of repairing. Like I'm seeing in my head, there's going to be a lot of repairing in families that you're going to have to do before you start seeing the effect of a better man.
That's
right.
right.
I'm shaking right now. Is it cold or am I just like
it's both
pumped up?
It's a little both. It's like in the 50s.
Yeah. But I'm a little like, I'm on the edge of my seat right now because I feel the power and the weightiness of what God's given you. And like we talked about a week ago and we talked about today is like, he keeps bringing it up that this is like this is why God did this.
Yeah.
It's so that we can reach people in a way that is super good for them.
And we believe that the podcast reach people for sure.
Absolutely.
But we feel that if we want to truly affect people's lives and for people's lives to change, we need to break it down into small steps. We need to go, here's step one in our faith. We need to be reading the Bible, praying, right? You don't need to break it down week by week. And we're going to do them in focuses, right? So each week we'll be doing a focus and we'll just break it down. And we'll do those segments for over it'll be like a 3-month section. So if you do the whole thing with us, it'll be a full year process.
Yeah.
Becoming a better man, behind the better man.
Yeah. I'm super excited for it.
Me too, dude. I am.
Yeah. Like I said, and I'll say it again, it's God-given, and I know that he's going to push it in the right way, and it's going to affect people's lives, and there's plenty of men out there that need it.
Yeah.
That don't know they need it yet, but they need it. And I just see, like, I'm trying to, like, figure out what all I see coming from it, but I see plenty of education. I see families getting turned around. I see marriages getting healed. Like, God has a powerful thing in what he's going to do.
I think that what's going to happen, like realistically, for a lot of people, they're going to be like, man, well, I really want to get better in this area, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to realize that this one connects to this one, connects to this one. That's why they're in that specific order for me and you, right? Yeah. We know that faith comes first. You have to have a relationship with God, and you got to get that in order.
Yeah.
You know that you have to put your family before anything else. Mm-hmm. You have to get your health in order, your fitness. If you don't have your health, it doesn't matter how much
money you have.
Doesn't matter how much money you have.
You can't pay for health.
That's right. Exactly.
You can pay for
hospital visits,
doctor bills. That's about it.
Yeah.
You know.
Right. So.
Gosh.
Boom.
I love that. I really do.
Me too, Jake. So here's the beauty of this. To say that we have every single one of these, like we have them perfectly nailed down, is false. What gives us the authority to talk about these things?
Credibility.
Yeah. What's our credibility? Well, first of all, we're men.
Yeah.
Who believe in God.
We have families.
We believe in fitness, and we believe that you have to make money. But realistically, like we are not specialists in any of these areas. I don't think. I think that we have a well-rounded understanding. I think that in some areas we're better than others.
Yeah.
We are. Yeah. But for me, like having to dive into them is already making me better.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we don't have a choice.
Yeah. We've kind of got our arm twisted to do it. You know, like not saying, oh, we have to do it. We've twisted our own arm and saying, hey, you need to be a better man.
Yeah.
Like for your family, like we've taken this selfishness out, and it's like we have to be a better man or our family suffers.
Yeah.
Our life suffers. Our health suffers, our finances suffer.
Yeah.
We have control, and God's given us dominion over our family to do that and to guide people the right way.
Yeah.
And this goes back before even the podcast. Like for me, feeling a burden in this area, I say this area, but it's like the world right now is lacking men.
We've been talking about that subject for how long?
We have. And
since day one, pretty much.
That was something before Behind the Better that God put in my heart too, was that this, just by seeing people grow up and the house divisions and kids that don't have dads in their life. And
oh yeah,
it's sad because as someone who desires to be a good dad or to be a good father, or a husband, you're saddened that there's women that are divorced and they're on their own, or you're sad that there's kids that don't have dads.
Yeah.
You're sad that people are living in a poverty mentality.
Yeah.
You're broken over these things. And then we have this podcast and we go through these podcasts, and we've been through a lot of them. And then all of a sudden God's like, now that you went through the process of learning what we're doing.
Yeah.
We've got the ideas, and it was like we were in a waiting period for God to deliver exactly what he wanted.
Yeah.
And then he gives it. And then now we have the direction. And it's like so naturally in our heads.
Yeah.
That it's like unfolding for us. This is the direction. This is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to shoot it. And there's like so much creativity being thrown at it that now it's like, now I can run with this.
I think that it just because it's the things that we already know that we wanted to be better in and we've been developing already in our own lives that it just it's flowing naturally out of us. That's what I believe. Yeah. That's why it was so easy whenever the light bulb, it was so easy. Like, man, this is from God. You know, he's already been developing these things in our own lives. It's time to break them down in a way that we can share it with others.
Yeah. That's so cool.
It's awesome.
Like the more I sit here, I'm just like, it's cool. Like I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be something bigger than what we were expecting. That's what it is. Like we came in here with the mentality that we were going to do a podcast, and God is taking this to it's not just a podcast.
Right.
So much more than that.
Yep.
So much greater than what we were expecting.
Yep.
Dude, we didn't expect nothing from this.
Nope. Just doing it for fun.
We just stepped out and was like, let's just do this.
Let's do it for fun.
And it's like, God is like, I'm not going to have you waste like what I've given you.
Yeah.
Like he's given us guidance in certain areas. He's like, I don't want to waste that. Let's use it. And we're going to inject that into the men in your generation or whatever.
Yeah. So I guess really the credibility is our own lives. That's it. Like, that's our credibility. It really is. It's our own lives. It's the development that God has already worked through us in these areas and is still working as we develop. Right?
Yeah.
That's it. It really is.
Yeah. And if we were to wait till we're perfect,
we'd never do anything.
We would never get there.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a walk. Like and even if we get perfect, you're not done then. It continues.
Yeah.
So really, if you really want to break it down, the credibility would never have been there.
Yeah.
Like you would have never found credibility because you're still working every day to become better and closer to what God's image is and who he wants you to be.
Right.
In all areas of life.
Yep.
So we have to start.
We have to start.
And they need to start.
Yep.
And men, like behind the better men, I just want to clarify is man, men, and man, like God's creation too.
Yeah.
It's not just limited just to men.
We're turning a page. We're on
a new adventure.
We're on a whole new adventure. Behind the better doesn't go away. It's just we're expanding it into a way that we can share it to you, share it with you as a course,
a resource
to help men develop. Like obviously, we want men to discuss these things because it's no good if you sit in your home alone and you read something and then you go, "Man, I'm really sure like how to apply that." Let's get together through virtually. Is going to be the easiest way to do it. So we'll like through like a Zoom call and let's sit down and discuss what is going on in your life. How are the things that we're learning applying? How are you applying them to your lives?
And how that support will have to be there.
Absolutely.
Because if we go through faith or through your faith, the first part, you're going to realize that there's going to be some prayer and there's going to be some things in your life that need to be broken out.
Ooh.
And that's where I'm seeing like, I want you to know that it's way more than just curriculum. It's deliverance.
It is.
It's freedom that God's willing to give you because you're seeking out, let's be honest, his personality.
Yeah.
It's behind the better man, but the source of the better has always been God.
Absolutely.
And so when we're seeking out how to become the better man, I want you to know you're seeking out to see who Jesus is.
Yeah.
Like that's the bottom line.
It is.
It's like you're trying to be more like who he is.
Well, that's the whole point of putting faith first.
Yes.
If you don't get the first one in order, all of the other ones are influenced by the most important thing.
Yeah.
It's good, dude.
So good. He's going to set some people free. There's some men that are getting set free.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. I'm ready.
Let's do it.